Good morning. Today is Sunday, September 30th. We are right outside of Silverton, Colorado, and today we're going to be hiking the Ice Lakes / Island Lake Trail. For a full hike review of the Ice Lakes / Island Lake Trail, you can check the link below. So as I mentioned, right outside of Silverton today, you might be able to see fall is coming to an end. Which is crazy because it's only the end of September, but still some nice foliage going on here on the aspens behind us. To give you kind of a look at the map here, so this actually just shows you one portion of the hike, but what we're going to be end up doing is kind of doing multiple lakes. So we'll be coming up, doing Island Lake, going over to Ice Lake, and then going over to Fuller Lake, and then back down. So you can do any variation of this. As you can see, it's pretty steep from elevation. They explain this to you like you've never been outside before, and maybe that's good for you, but if you're used to hiking high alpine lakes in Colorado, this is pretty standard. We're starting off right around 9,500 feet and going up to about 12,300, 400, depending on how high you go up. So very steep, about 8 miles round trip. We'll see if that description comes true once we're up there. Just about a mile into the hike, you got a little side detour attraction here, a little waterfall action, looking down, and then looking into the valley out there. So far, pretty easy. Switchbacks for sure, but not super steep. Pretty mellow in between them, like you're not going back to back to back. You have like a nice long flat area in between each one. Right about 10,400 feet, so definitely working our way up. About 2.3 miles in, mid-basin I would call it here. So the ice lakes are that way. This is the split here. Got Juno and Jackie, and we're gonna be going up to Island Lake, which as you can see, the trail is up this way, and I believe eventually it'll be just over this hill right here. We're close to Island Lake right now. This trail right here to the left gives you a more direct route to the lake. If you want to go right, you can get a little bit better aerial view, so we're going to be going right. Both will ultimately take you to the lake. This one just adds a little bit of distance. So this is Island Lake.
We made it. Woo woo.
Jackie and Juno are excited. This is our first stop of the day. We have it all to ourselves, which is pretty cool. When you get down closer, I'll show you how clear the water is, and obviously as the sun goes up, this lake will brighten up a bit. Right now it's kind of like a shade of green. It looks kind of dark, but it will brighten up as the sun hits it at a more direct angle. Clear views in the sky, awesome view of this basin here, very picturesque. So as I said, there's kind of like a side trail right here. You don't want to keep going up that pass. You'll gain a ton of elevation for no reason, unless you want that aerial picture. So next up, after we enjoy this, we'll be headed to the Blue Lakes, or the Ice Lakes, excuse me, which are up over in this area, basically. There's a couple of them along the way. So to this lake, 3.3 miles, we're at 12,400 feet of elevation. Even right now, you can kind of see it brightening a little bit. So yeah, Island Lake, enjoy. Down closer at the lake now, you can kind of see hopefully how clear it is. This is about as picturesque as it gets. Pretty awesome spot. So next up, we're going to be going up this hill right here where those people are, over to the Ice Lakes. I'm sitting here talking a bunch of crap about the last lake we saw, because it was pretty, but I was like, I don't know, I was expecting it to be more blue. It more or less reminded me of any other high alpine lake that I've seen. And we round the corner here, and I mean, yeah, that blew my pants off. That is blue. So that's one of the first ice lakes. There are more. So if you just want to hike up, you can see the approach there where we split. And the split is kind of right around that area. And you take this trail all the way up to the first one. Now, obviously there's more. Obviously I'll show you that lake once we're close to it. You will just continue up that way to the higher lakes. But wow, that is very blue. This is the first of the ice lakes. As you can see, it's pretty crowded up here. We're gonna pass by it come give you a closer look on the way back, but just trying to get a little bit more seclusion at the upper lakes, hopefully. But this is insane. The color of this, it absolutely looks fake, absolutely looks like it's been oversaturated in a photo, photoshopped, whatever, but this is the real deal. Pretty crazy. Looking at the second of 3 lakes up here. This one is obviously not as deep, so not as blue, but still a very beautiful location here. Almost looks green like the island lake did. I believe this is the smallest of the 3 as well. The last one is just over that hump up in that basin up there. Here we are at the tallest of all, or the highest, excuse me, of all the 3 lakes. Nice little backdrop there. Looks like a old mining building here that obviously did not make these winters. So in terms of blueness, the second one is, or excuse me, the first one you see is definitely the bluest. I would say this one has a similar tint to the island lake, but as you can see, the pro of this lake over the other 2 is there's no one else here. So even on a crowded day like today, you can really kind of enjoy a piece of nature by yourself, which is really cool. To the lake right now, 5.19 miles. So I would anticipate, even though we're going to take a slightly different way down, that this would be just over 10 miles, maybe just shy of it, for all 3 lakes. If you were just to do 2, I believe it would be right around 8.5 miles to that lower lake, and then another, half mile up here. So about 9 to both of these lakes, but very pretty, very peaceful. And we'll stop in at that blue lake so you can kind of see it on the way down, and then, but yeah, just enjoy the peace and quiet up here. Back down to the lower lake, you can really see how blue this thing is. It's wild. It looks like there's some kind of white sand in there, which definitely helps. And as you get closer, it doesn't look as insanely blue as when you're up higher, but it's still pretty impressive no matter how you slice it. So to the upper lakes and back down to here, about 6 miles, and then another 6 or so to the trailhead. Definitely a crowded hike, but definitely one that I would recommend for everybody, family, dogs. Very cool spot. In terms of difficulty, definitely class 2, class 1 most of the way. I would say this is a moderate to difficult hike depending on your experience. If you don't spend a lot of time outside, this will probably be a difficult hike. If this is a hike that, is just something you're visiting Colorado and want to see, it's probably going to be pretty difficult. But it's a very beautiful spot. And the nice thing about this lake is that even though there are a lot of people up here, you can kind of find your own little spot and still get cool pictures and all that fun stuff. So I would say overall, if we were to redo this hike again, the island lake, I'm not sure if we'd do that. We would definitely go up to the upper ones though, because they give you a really cool perspective of this one here. In addition to having a bit of solitude up at that high lake versus here, which there's obviously a lot of people. So yeah, that wraps up our day here at the Ice Lakes and Island Lake. For a full hike review of the Ice Lakes and the Islands Lakes, you can check the link below. Thanks for watching, and we'll leave you with this beautiful blue lake. Please subscribe to not miss any future hike reviews. And of course, give this video a like if you found it helpful. I'll be back to the lakes of the San Juans, that's for sure. So comment below if there's one that you want me to review next time. Thanks for watching. See you on the next hike.